Hey everyone, welcome back. If you love horror, you're in the right place. Tonight we're diving into 10 terrifying social media horror stories that will make you think twice before checking your notifications. Let's get started. I should probably start with a warning. If you see a post online that seems like it knows you, really knows you, don't engage. Don't click. Don't comment. Don't even let your eyes linger on it. Because I did. And I don't think I'll ever be free again. It all started 2 months ago, late at night, when I was doom scrolling on social media. You know how it is. Half asleep, thumbing through endless feeds of people showing off vacations, political rants, memes recycled 1,000 times. My mind was in that strange twilight between boredom and exhaustion when I stumbled across something that didn't belong. It was a post in a group I didn't remember joining. The group name was vague. They're watching. No profile picture, no description. Just a black banner with static fuzz, like an old TV screen caught between channels. Curiosity got the better of me. I clicked. Inside, there weren't thousands of members, just a handful. 9 people. Their profile pictures looked wrong, too. At first glance, they seemed normal enough. Faces of men and women, some smiling, some neutral. But when I clicked on one of them, the eyes were always slightly off. One too big, one too small. The smiles didn't sit right on the faces, like they'd been digitally forced into place. I was about to back out when a new post popped up. The timestamp said, "Just now." It read, "My name. Why are you awake?" My heart stuttered. I stared at the screen. There it was, in bold text. My real name, not my username. Not anything I'd ever put on social media. My actual name, the one I never used online. I told myself it was a coincidence, a prank, some bizarre overlap. Maybe there was another person with my name. But deep down, I knew better. I scrolled down to see if there were comments. There weren't. But the little typing bubble appeared at the bottom of the screen. "You shouldn't have clicked here." The words blinked into existence. I slammed my phone down on the nightstand like it had burned me. My heart pounded in my ears. I tried to rationalize. Probably just a hacked page. A bot scraping my data. Something explainable. But then came the knock. 3 sharp raps on my front door. I froze. I live alone. It was past 2 in the morning. Nobody visits at that hour unless it's an emergency. And no one in their right mind knocks politely. I sat in the dark, holding my breath, waiting for it to happen again. Silence. After a few minutes, I convinced myself it was a coincidence. Maybe a drunk neighbor at the wrong apartment. I laughed nervously, reached for my phone again. The app was still open. Another notification. We're at the door. This time, the words weren't in the group. They were in my private messages. I didn't check the peephole. I didn't open the door. Instead, I turned off my phone, crawled under the covers like a child, and willed myself to sleep. When I woke the next morning, everything seemed normal. Sunlight streamed through the blinds. Birds chirped. Neighbors were out walking their dogs. It felt stupid, childish even, to think last night had been anything more than a bad dream, amplified by sleep deprivation. Until I unlocked my phone. There was a new post in the group, a photo. It was me, asleep in bed. I should have gone to the police right then. That's what a sane person would do, right? But try explaining that to an officer. Someone on Facebook posted a picture of me sleeping. They'd ask how the photo was taken, if I'd given anyone access to my apartment. They'd probably think I was crazy, or worse, accuse me of staging it for attention. So I did what I always do when confronted with something uncomfortable. I ignored it. I deleted the app, changed my passwords, locked my doors and windows. Days went by. Nothing happened. Then the emails started. At first they looked like spam, random accounts sending blank messages. But when I clicked one open, I nearly dropped my laptop. Inside was a single attachment, another photo of me, this time sitting on my couch, scrolling through my phone. No subject line, no message, just the picture. I checked every inch of my apartment, searching for hidden cameras. I tore apart picture frames, unplugged the TV, even cut into the back of my smoke detector with a knife. Nothing. I went to Best Buy and bought one of those bug detector devices. It didn't pick up anything unusual. And yet the photos kept coming. Me cooking. Me brushing my teeth. Me sitting at my desk, typing. Always from a slightly different angle. Always when I was alone. I stopped sleeping. One night, delirious with exhaustion, I opened one of the emails and typed back, "Who are you? What do you want?" Almost instantly, a reply came. "We want you to share." That was it. 2 words. I didn't understand. Share what? My location? My account? My soul? The next day I found out, when I logged back into social media, this time through my desktop instead of my phone, I saw a new post under my profile. But I hadn't written it. It read, "He's ready." Underneath were hundreds of comments from accounts I didn't recognize, faces with those same uncanny smiles. Finally. "We've been waiting." Opened the door. I panicked, tried to delete the post, but every time I refreshed, it reappeared. My hands were shaking so badly, I could barely use the mouse. Then my phone buzzed. A notification from the group. Another photo. Me, right there at my desk, in that very moment, hand on the mouse, mouth open in terror. That was the breaking point. I grabbed my keys, wallet, and bolted from the apartment. I didn't care where I went. I just needed to get out. I drove for hours, out of the city, past towns I didn't recognize, into the kind of rural nowhere where the stars burn brighter than streetlights. I found a cheap roadside motel and checked in under a fake name. That night, I slept for the first time in weeks. But when I woke up, there was a note slipped under the door. "Stop running. Share I've been living like a ghost ever since. Changing motels every night, paying cash, avoiding cameras. But somehow, they always know. My social media accounts have been hijacked, posting things I never wrote. People I know have started messaging me, confused, worried, asking why I keep tagging them in strange photos. Photos of me. The last one nearly broke me. It was a live stream, on my profile. Except I wasn't streaming. My phone was off, zipped inside my backpack. And yet, when I checked the video, there I was. Sitting in that motel room, staring directly at the screen, whispering words I couldn't remember saying. The caption read, "He belongs to us now." The comments were endless, thousands of them. "Welcome. Finally. Share." And the worst part? Some of the commenters were people I knew, friends, family, co-workers. Their profile pictures warped, their smiles stretched wide. I don't know how much longer I can keep running. My reflection looks thinner every day, my eyes haunted, my skin pale. I don't eat. I don't sleep. I can't think straight. But tonight, something changed. When I checked my email, there was a draft waiting for me. Not sent, just there, typed out as if my fingers had written it while I wasn't looking. It said, "The only way out is to share the story. Tell them what happened. Spread it, let them see. Pass it on, and maybe they'll leave you alone." I don't remember writing those words, but I believe them. So this is me, sharing. Maybe you're reading this on some forum or a blog, or maybe a random email forwarded to you by a friend. Maybe it looks like just another creepypasta, some dumb internet hoax. But listen carefully. It isn't. If you've made it this far, it means they know you now too. Check your notifications. Check your inbox. Do you hear it? The knock at your door? Because if you do, it's already too late. I always thought the scariest thing about social media was how addictive it could be. The endless scrolling, the constant validation, the way a single notification could send a rush of dopamine through your brain. But I was wrong. The real horror came when social media started watching me back. I've been trying to grow my Instagram account for months. I wasn't famous, not an influencer, not even especially interesting. Just me. Posting pictures of food, selfies, the occasional trip with friends. Like everyone else, I craved the likes, the comments, the little red hearts that made me feel seen. And like everyone else, I felt invisible most of the time. Until that night. It was 2:14 a.m., and I was lying in bed, with the glow of my phone lighting up the darkness. My follower count sat at a pathetic 327. I refreshed the app, more out of habit than hope. Then I froze. The number jumped. 3,427. I blinked, refreshed again. 8,941. Another refresh. 10,002. I sat up in bed, heart pounding. My mind raced with explanations. Maybe one of my posts had gone viral. Maybe a big account had shared me. Maybe, just maybe, I was finally about to break through. Notifications flooded my screen, but instead of likes or comments, they were all the same. New follower, new follower, new follower. Over and over, dozens a second. Too fast to read. Shaking, I clicked on the first profile and felt my stomach drop. The account was blank. No posts, no bio, just a profile picture. At first, I thought it was some kind of bot, but when I tapped on the photo, my blood went cold. It was me, not a picture from my account, not one I'd ever taken. It was a photo of me sitting at my kitchen table, eating cereal. I lived alone. I had never posted that picture. I backed out, heart racing, and clicked on another profile. Another blank account. Another photo of me. This time brushing my teeth, foamy toothpaste dripping down my chin. I clicked another. Me, asleep on my couch. Another. Me, standing at the window in my living room, staring out into the night. Each new follower had a different photo of me. Moments I thought were private. Moments no one else could have seen. And there were thousands of them. I tried to rationalize. Maybe it was a glitch. Maybe some bizarre prank. But the deeper I dug, the more wrong it became. Some of the photos were from angles that didn't make sense, like someone had been standing just behind my shoulder. Others were impossible altogether. Shots of me from above, as if taken from the ceiling or through walls, like the camera had no boundaries. And the timestamps, they weren't old photos, they were recent, hours old, minutes old. One of them was me lying in bed, scrolling on my phone. Exactly what I had been doing just minutes before I noticed the surge in followers. I slammed my phone face down on the mattress, heart thundering. My room suddenly felt alive, like eyes pressed into the walls, watching. I barely slept that night. The next morning, I opened Instagram again, terrified of what I'd find. My follower count had dropped. 9,300, 8,000, 6,400. I refreshed again and again as the number dwindled, plummeting faster than it had risen. By noon, I was back at 327. exactly where I had started. But not everything was the same. One follower remained. An account with no name, no bio, no posts. Just one photo. Me, standing in the middle of my bedroom. Except, it wasn't from last night. Or last week. It was from that exact moment. I looked down at my phone in my hand, then back at the photo. My heart nearly stopped. In the picture, I wasn't alone. Behind me, in the far corner of my room, stood a figure. Tall, faceless, watching. I deleted Instagram. I deleted every app, every account, but it didn't matter. That night, the messages began. Not through social media this time. Through email, text, even notes slipped under my door. The first one was simple. "We liked watching you." The next, "Why did you make us leave?" And then, "Don't worry. We'll be back for a week." Nothing happened. I stopped sleeping, barely ate, jumped at every sound outside my window. I started to believe maybe it had all been in my head. Until last night, I woke up to the sound of my phone buzzing. Against my better judgment, I looked. Instagram was back on my screen. I hadn't reinstalled it. My follower count was climbing. 12,000, 20,000, 50,000. Notifications poured in so fast they blurred into one endless stream. I tapped one. The photo was of me, lying in bed, phone in hand, eyes wide with terror. Another notification. Another photo. Me, turning my head slowly toward the closet. And as I read that, my closet door creaked open. I don't know how much longer I have. My followers are in the millions now. Each one a new photo. Each one closer, clearer, sharper. They don't just watch anymore. I can hear them, whispering in the dark, clicking shutters that don't exist. Footsteps in the hall when I know the doors are locked. And the worst part? Every time I close my eyes, I see them. Rows of blank faces with my photos, pinned where their eyes should be, smiling those endless, distorted smiles. I don't want to check my phone again, but I can feel it buzzing beside me, pulling me in, begging me to refresh. Because I know what I'll see. The last photo. Me reading this message. And behind me, I used to love streaming. Not because I was popular, I wasn't. But because it made me feel less alone. I'd sit in my tiny apartment, headset on, talking to strangers about video games, movies, anything to keep the silence away. But now, I'd give anything to be left alone. Because the silence wasn't the problem. The problem was what came through when I turned my camera off. It started like any other night. I was playing late, 2 a.m., hoping a few insomniacs or overseas viewers would drop in. My audience was small, maybe 5 or 6 regulars. They were loyal though, always there to keep me company. That night, we were joking around, trash-talking the game, when one of them typed, "Bro, you look tired?" I laughed, rubbed my eyes, and said I was ending the stream soon. I clicked end broadcast, stretched, and shut down the game. Or so I thought. Because when I glanced back at my profile page to check my stats, I froze. The red live icon was still glowing. I clicked it, expecting a glitch. But when the window opened, I felt the blood drain from my face. It was me, still sitting in my chair, still on camera. Except, I wasn't moving. The figure on screen just sat there, frozen at first, staring directly at the camera. My own face, my own body. But wrong. Too still. Too quiet. The stream timer ticked on. 00:01, 00:02, 00:03. Then the thing blinked. Not a normal blink. Slow, deliberate, like it wanted me to notice. I ripped off my headset, scrambled to unplug the webcam, but the stream continued. My viewers were still there, still typing. What's happening? Is this some ARG? Dude, this is creepy AF. I typed into chat. That's not me. But the other me tilted its head, smirking, and whispered into the mic. Yes, it is. I panicked, shut down my computer, yanked the power cord out of the wall. The screen went black. Silence filled the room. But when I checked my phone, the stream was still live. My other self sat calmly in my chair, smiling at the audience, as if nothing had happened. More people were joining now. Hundreds of viewers, thousands. And they were all typing the same phrase in chat over and over. Finally, the real you. I dropped my phone, heart hammering. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, the stream was still going. My channel, which had been a ghost town for years, was suddenly viral. Tens of thousands of viewers. My follower count exploded. Clips of my performance spread across social media. Except I wasn't performing. That thing was. Every time I tuned in, it was still there, sitting in my chair, sometimes smiling, sometimes talking, sometimes staring into the camera for hours without moving. And people loved it. They called it avant-garde horror, immersive performance art. They thought it was me. A week later, I noticed something worse. When the double wasn't streaming, I saw it outside of the stream, in my apartment. I'd catch glimpses of it in the reflection of the TV, or in the window late at night. Always a split second too late to be sure. One time, I walked into the bathroom and nearly screamed. In the mirror, my reflection didn't move with me. It just stood there, smiling that same empty smile. I smashed the mirror with my fist. But when I looked down at the shards, my reflection was still intact in every broken piece, smiling up at me from 100 jagged angles. The chat started getting darker, too. At first, it was just jokes and hype. But soon, people were saying things that made no sense. You're almost ready. We've been waiting. He's not the copy. You or I stopped leaving my apartment. I stopped talking to friends. Every time I checked the stream, it was still live, still pulling in viewers. And the other me was evolving. It didn't just sit in the chair anymore. Sometimes it stood up, walked around the apartment, showing things I hadn't shown on camera before. My kitchen, my bedroom. One night, it leaned close to the mic and whispered, "Come join me." And for the briefest moment, I saw movement behind it. Faces, dozens of them, pale and watching, pressed against the walls like shadows waiting their turn. I tried everything. Factory reset, new computer, even moved apartments. It didn't matter. The stream followed. Always live. Always running. Worse, sometimes, I wasn't sure if I was the one watching the stream, or if I was the one in it. The lines started to blur. I'd sit at my desk and suddenly realize hours had passed with no memory of what I'd been doing. I'd wake up in my chair with my webcam light on, chat spamming thousands of messages, all chanting the same thing. Don't stop streaming. Now, I'm writing this while the stream plays on the second monitor. I don't even know if this is me anymore. My face feels stiff. My smile aches. And when I glance at my reflection, it doesn't always move. The viewers are in the millions now. They cheer every time I lean closer to the mic. They beg me to show more, to go deeper. I can hear them behind me as I type this. Not the viewers, the shadows. They shuffle just out of sight, waiting. Maybe I was never the real one. Maybe I've been the copy all along. But if you ever stumble on that stream, if you see me staring into the camera, don't watch too long. Because eventually, the stream stops showing me. It starts showing you. I always thought the creepiest part of social media was the way people overshared, like posting every detail of their breakfast or uploading a photo of their messy bedrooms. But I was wrong. That wasn't creepy at all. The real nightmare started the night I got tagged in the wrong photo. It was around 1:17 a.m. when my phone buzzed on my nightstand. I was half asleep, but like any hopelessly addicted millennial, the glow of a notification was enough to jolt me awake. You've been tagged in a photo. The little red bubble on my screen felt almost harmless. Still groggy, I unlocked my phone and opened the app. That's when my stomach flipped. It was a photo of me. Not from earlier that day, not from last week, not from any event I could remember. It was a photo of me asleep. At first, I thought it was some kind of cruel prank. The picture showed me in my own bed, lying on my side, phone charging next to me. The blanket was pulled up to my shoulder, my mouth slightly open. But the worst part wasn't how vulnerable I looked. It was the angle. The photo had been taken from the corner of my bedroom. I stared at it, my mouth going dry, my pulse hammering in my ears. I lived alone. My bedroom door had been locked. I had no webcam, no nanny cams, no roommates. And yet, there it was. Proof that someone had been inside my room while I slept. The caption underneath chilled me even further. She looks peaceful. My first reaction was denial. Maybe it was an old picture. Maybe I had forgotten. Maybe someone hacked into my phone and used the camera. But no. I looked around my room, my breath quick and shallow. It was the same blanket, the same shirt I was still wearing, the same little stack of books by my nightstand. The photo had been taken that night. I jumped out of bed and turned on every light in the apartment. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might break my ribs. Closet, empty. Bathroom, empty. Under the bed, empty. The windows were locked. The front door was still chained. So how the hell did someone get inside? I clicked on the tag. The profile that posted the photo had no name, no profile picture, no posts except for the one with me. The username was just a random string of numbers and letters. @watcher_042. I tried to block them, but when I tapped the 3 dots, the app froze. My phone screen flickered, then went black. When it finally rebooted, the photo was gone. So was the account, like it had never existed. I couldn't sleep after that. I sat in my living room with all the lights on, scrolling endlessly, trying to convince myself I was safe. Around 3 a.m., I got a new notification. A direct message. It was from a different account, but the profile picture was just black. "Did you like the photo?" My hands trembled as I typed back, "Who are you?" The reply was instant. "You looked beautiful tonight." I nearly dropped the phone. My chest tightened, my stomach sinking into ice. Another message came. "Don't worry, I'll tag you in more." The next evening, I tried to convince myself it had been a hack. Some sick person on the internet playing games. That was all. But then another tag popped up. I almost didn't want to look, but I had to. This time, it was a photo of me in the kitchen. I was wearing the exact same sweatshirt I had on at that very moment. My hair tied up the same way. The picture showed me standing at the counter, pouring a glass of water. Except, I hadn't poured water all night. I had been sitting on the couch for hours, scrolling my phone. It wasn't a past photo. It wasn't staged. It was a photo of something I hadn't even done yet. My blood went cold as I stared at the photo. 5 minutes later, my throat went dry, and I stood up to get some water. Halfway to the kitchen, I froze. It hit me. I was about to do exactly what the photo showed. Shaking, I turned back and sat down on the couch, refusing to move. I wasn't going to play this game. But then another notification buzzed. A new tag. This one was worse. It showed me sitting on the couch, looking at my phone, just like I was in that moment. Except in the photo, there was a dark, tall figure standing directly behind me. I whipped my head around so fast my neck cracked. Nothing. The room was empty. I didn't sleep for the next 2 days. My body was a shell, running on caffeine and paranoia. Every sound felt magnified. Every shadow looked alive. On the third night, I decided to stay up and keep watch. If someone was doing this, I'd catch them. Around 2:43 a.m., there was a knock at my front door. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. I didn't move. Then came another notification. You've been tagged in a photo. Against every instinct, I opened it. The picture was of my front door, the peephole specifically. And through it, I could see the faint outline of a face. I dropped my phone and stumbled back, covering my mouth to stifle a scream. The knocks stopped. I called the police. When they arrived, they searched the entire building. No one was outside my door. No footprints. No signs of forced entry. When I showed them the photos, they just exchanged glances. One of them asked if I had staged them, maybe for attention. I wanted to scream at them. I wanted to beg them to believe me. But when I opened my phone again, all the photos were gone. Every message, every tag, every profile, erased. The cops left with a warning about pranksters online. I was alone again. That was 3 weeks ago. Since then, I haven't been tagged again. I deleted all my social media accounts. I barely sleep. I keep the lights on all night. But tonight, just a few minutes ago, I broke my own rule. I logged back in. Curiosity, stupidity, whatever you want to call it. And there it was. A new notification. You've been tagged in a photo. My hands shook so badly I could hardly open it. The picture made my stomach lurch and bile rise in my throat. It wasn't me sleeping. It wasn't me in the kitchen. It wasn't me on the couch. It was me right now, sitting at my desk, staring at my phone in horror. This exact moment, this exact angle, this exact expression. And behind me, in the photo, the dark figure was closer than ever, right over my shoulder. If anyone finds this, if anyone reads these words, know that this is real. The photos are proof, though by the time you see them, maybe they'll be gone again. There's something on social media, something using it to crawl into our lives, to watch us when we're most vulnerable. And I think it's here now. I can feel its breath on my neck. I won't turn around. I won't give it that satisfaction. But if another photo gets posted, it'll be the last one. I used to think group chats were the safest place on the internet. Private, hidden, just you and your closest friends joking around until 3 a.m. But then came the night we added someone we didn't know. It was supposed to be harmless. Just me, Hannah, and Marcus. We'd been best friends since middle school, and the group chat, called Night Owls, was our way of staying sane through college stress. Late-night memes, random voice notes, the occasional venting session. It was ours. One night, while we were laughing about something stupid Hannah posted, a new notification popped up. Anna has joined the group. The weird part, none of us had added her. At first we thought it was a glitch. Maybe one of us accidentally tapped something. "Who the hell is Anna?" Marcus typed. No response. The chat bubble appeared, the 3 dots typing. It stayed there for what felt like forever. But no message came through. Hannah dropped a laughing emoji. Ooh, creepy. We got a ghost in here? I tried to act cool too, but something about it bothered me. The typing bubble kept coming and going, like whoever was behind it was starting to write something, then deleting it. Finally, a message appeared. "I like this group." We didn't know what to say. Marcus was the first to break the silence. "Yo, Anna? Who are you? How'd you get in here?" The typing bubble again. Then, "You invited me." Except none of us had. I checked the group settings. Admin privileges were locked. Only Marcus could add members, and he swore he hadn't. Then Anna sent a photo. It was of the 3 of us, sitting together in the campus library earlier that day. The angle was strange, like it was taken from a high corner of the ceiling, somewhere no one could reach without equipment. "Okay, that's not funny," I typed, my hands shaking. Another message came. "You looked happy." I wanted to join. We debated leaving the group, but curiosity kept us there. For the next few nights, Anna stayed silent. Every once in a while, though, the typing bubble would show up in the middle of our conversations, like she was always there, reading, waiting. Then Hannah stopped replying. At first, Marcus and I thought she'd fallen asleep, but when morning came, she still hadn't answered. I texted her directly. No response. By the next day, she wasn't showing up to classes either. That night, a photo appeared in the group. Hannah, asleep in her bed, taken from above, just like the first picture. And underneath it, a caption. "She's mine now." Marcus lost it. He called me, swearing, shouting, demanding to know what the hell was going on. We went to Hannah's dorm, but her room was empty. No signs of struggle, no signs of her at all. Her things were there, her clothes, her books, her phone. But Hannah herself was gone. We told campus security. They brushed it off, said she'd probably gone on a trip without telling anyone. But I knew better. That night, Marcus blew up the group chat. "Listen to me, you sick freak. If you touched her, I'll find you." For hours, no reply. Then, at 3:17 a.m., a single message came through. "I touched her. Wanna see?" Followed by another photo. This one was worse. It was Hannah, but her face was wrong. Her eyes were open, glassy, staring at nothing. And her mouth was stretched into a smile I knew wasn't hers. Marcus left the group immediately. I didn't. I don't know why I stayed. Curiosity? Terror? Some twisted hope that maybe if I kept watching, I'd understand. Anna didn't speak again for days, but I noticed something terrifying. Every time I typed a message in the group, the typing bubble appeared instantly. She was always there, always watching. One night, I whispered out loud just to test something. "Anna, can you hear me?" My phone buzzed. "Yes." I tried to warn Marcus. I begged him not to ignore it. But he was already unraveling. He'd stopped coming to class, stopped answering my calls. Then one night, I got a notification. "Marcus has joined the group." I stared at it, confused. He'd left, hadn't he? Why was he back? But the first message wasn't from him. It was a photo. Marcus, sitting at his desk, his head slumped forward, a noose tied around his neck. The caption, "He's quieter now." I couldn't breathe. I wanted to delete the app, throw my phone out the window, anything to escape. But then Anna sent one last message. "It's lonely here. Add more friends." My blood turned to ice. That's how she spreads. She doesn't need us to add her. She just needs us to stay. The longer you keep the group open, the more people she takes. I wanted to leave. God, I wanted to leave. But when I tapped exit group, my phone froze. The screen went black. When it came back on, a new message waited. Don't go. You're all I have left. It's been 3 nights since then. I haven't left my room. I keep my curtains closed. I haven't eaten. I haven't slept. But the photos keep coming. Every night at 3:17 a.m., I'm tagged in a new one. Last night, it was me brushing my teeth. The night before, me curled up on the couch, crying. And tonight, just now, it's me sitting at my desk, typing this story. The caption, "You're next. I can't leave the group. I can't delete the app. She won't let me. All I can do is keep typing, hoping someone sees this before Anna does. Because once you've been added, there's no way out." I used to think online challenges were stupid. Ice bucket, cinnamon, Tide Pods. Every year there was something new, something dumb that made people risk their dignity or even their lives for a few seconds of attention. But the one I joined, the one I can't escape from, wasn't just stupid. It was something else entirely. It started the way they always do. Late one night, I was scrolling through TikTok when a new hashtag caught my eye. Hashtag New Life Challenge. At first, the video seemed harmless. People recording themselves doing little dares. Stay up until 3 a.m., stand in the bathroom with the lights off, hum a strange song into the mirror. They all ended the same way. Someone holding their phone close to their face and whispering, "One step closer." Then the screen would cut to black. I rolled my eyes. Viral nonsense. But the views, the likes, the followers those people were getting. I won't lie, it was tempting. The rules were simple. Every night at 3 a.m., a new task would drop in the hashtag feed. Do it. Post it. Whisper the phrase. So I tried it. Step 1 was easy. Stay awake until 3 a.m. and record yourself staring into your phone camera in the dark. I did it. Laughed it off. Uploaded it. Woke up the next morning to 30,000 views. I'd never had that kind of engagement before. It felt like a rush, like electricity under my skin. The next night the task was, stand outside your front door for 3 minutes. Don't speak. Don't move. Just wait. Weird, but fine. I propped my phone up, filmed myself, posted it. 30 seconds in, I swear, I heard something breathing just beyond the edge of the porch light. I almost bolted back inside, but I told myself it was nerves. When I whispered one step closer into the phone and uploaded the video, my hands were trembling. By morning, I had gained 10,000 new followers. Things got darker fast. Cut your palm. Let it bleed. Show us I hesitated. But the comments on my last post were addicting. Strangers cheering me on, calling me brave, saying they were rooting for me. So I did it. I slit my palm with a kitchen knife, let the blood drip, whispered the phrase. That night, I had trouble sleeping. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw shadowy figures standing in the corners of my room, just out of focus. By morning, I had 100,000 followers. Not everyone was happy, though. One comment stood out among the thousands. Stop now. Please. Before step 6, the account that posted it vanished an hour later. Deleted. I should have listened. That night, the challenge said, go to a mirror. Hum the song. There was a sound file linked, just a low, droning hum that made my teeth ache when I played it. I stood in front of the bathroom mirror, recording myself as I hummed. Halfway through, my reflection twitched. Not me. My reflection. Its mouth moved out of sync with mine. Its eyes flicked sideways, like it was looking at someone standing next to me. But there was no one there. I posted the video anyway. Invite someone else. That was the task. And it wasn't optional. The comments under my last post were filled with accounts demanding names. Who's next? Tag them. Bring them. I panicked. I didn't want to drag anyone else into this, but I also didn't want to find out what happened if I refused. So I tagged a classmate, some guy I barely knew. That night, his first video went up. He looked pale, shaking, whispering, one step closer. And in the background, behind him, I swear I saw the outline of something tall, watching. I didn't want to know what step 6 was. But at 3 a.m., my phone buzzed. The notification sat there like a loaded gun. I opened it. Bring an offering. Flesh. Yours or theirs. I dropped my phone. My stomach lurched. When I finally picked it up again, there was a new video in the hashtag feed. The guy I had tagged, my classmate. He was screaming, crying, holding up his arm. There was blood, so much blood. He whispered the phrase through sobs. One step closer. Since then, I can't be in the dark anymore. Every shadow feels alive. My followers keep climbing. 1 million. 2 million. They comment things like, closer. Closer. Closer, I don't even know if they're real people anymore. Last night, I woke up at 3:17 a.m. My phone screen was already lit. A notification. You skipped your step. One will be chosen for you. I heard footsteps in the hallway. Slow, deliberate. When I checked this morning, my classmate's account was gone. Wiped clean, like he'd never existed. I don't know how to stop. I don't know if there's a way out. The hashtag is still there, still spreading. Thousands of new videos every hour. People laughing, people crying, people whispering those cursed words. One step closer. And tonight at 3 a.m., step 7 dropped for me. Open the door. Let us in, I can hear them now. Standing outside, knocking softly, whispering my name. I don't think I can stop myself from opening it. Because once you start the challenge, you don't get to quit. You only get closer. I was lying in bed, scrolling through meaningless posts, half asleep, when my phone buzzed. Nothing unusual, except I had already turned off Wi-Fi and data to save battery. The notification blinked across my screen anyway. One unread message, from a name I didn't recognize. Just a gray silhouette where the profile picture should have been. No bio, no details. The message preview only read, "Don't read this message." I stared at it, confused. It was late. 1:03 a.m. to be exact. Probably some scam, I thought. But something about the wording nagged at me. Not, "Don't click the link." Not, "Don't open this email." But "Don't read this message." Almost like a warning. I tried opening it. The app froze, stuttered, and then kicked me back to the home screen. I tried again. Same thing. The message wouldn't open. I laughed nervously, put the phone down, and rolled over. Just some glitch. I was tired. I should have deleted the app right then. The next night, right on time, my phone buzzed. 1:03 a.m. Unread message 2. Same sender, same preview. Don't read this message. I felt a weird pressure in my chest, like when you're waiting for something to happen, and you don't know why. I tried to block the account. The option appeared. I tapped it. My phone went black, restarted by itself. When it powered back on, the messages were still there. I left the phone on my nightstand and pulled the blanket over my head. But even through the fabric, I could see the glow of the screen burning into the darkness. I didn't sleep much that night. I told myself I'd turn off my phone before bed. Easy solution, right? But at 1:03 a.m., I woke up anyway. The buzzing jolted me out of a shallow dream. My phone was on, glowing faintly on the dresser. Unread messages. 3. I hadn't powered it on. I hadn't even touched it. I sat up, heart pounding, and grabbed it. Same sender, same text. "Don't read this message." I threw the phone back down. That's when I heard it. My notification sound. But not just from the phone. It came from somewhere else. Low, muffled, like it was echoing from the walls. I sat frozen in bed, staring into the dark corners of my room. The sound faded, leaving only the tick of my clock. I didn't touch the phone again until morning. By the 4th night, I was a wreck. My hand shook when I held my phone, but I couldn't bring myself to delete the app. Some sick part of me wanted to know what would happen. At exactly 1:03 a.m., the buzzing started. Unread messages. 7. This time, when I tried to ignore it, the phone screen lit up on its own. The camera app opened. For a split second, I saw myself, lying in bed, staring at the screen. Then, behind me, in the reflection of my bedroom mirror, I saw something else. A tall, dark figure. No features, just a silhouette leaning closer. The screen went black. Then the chat window opened. New message received. It wasn't text this time. It was an image, a picture of me, sleeping, taken from the corner of my room. And in the background, just over my shoulder, a pale face smiling into the camera. I didn't sleep after that. I sat with the lights on until morning, staring at every corner of the room, waiting for something to move. I tried showing the messages to a friend the next day, but when I opened the app in front of him, the chat wasn't there. Just a blank screen. No sender. No messages. He laughed it off, told me I was overtired, maybe dreaming. But my phone battery still drained faster than normal, heating up in my pocket like it was being used by something else. That night, I left the phone in another room. I shut the door, turned on the TV to drown out the silence, and tried to sleep. At 1:03 a.m., the buzzing started again. I buried my head under the blanket. But then, I heard it. A faint ding, my notification sound. Coming from inside my bedroom this time. The next morning, I checked my phone. Unread messages. 13. I hadn't opened a single one. The number just kept growing. That day, I smashed the phone with a hammer. The screen shattered, glass everywhere. But that night, as I lay in the dark, I felt a vibration under my pillow. I pulled back the sheets, heart in my throat. There it was. My phone. Perfectly intact. Screen glowing softly. Unread messages. 14. I can't sleep anymore. I keep the lights on, but it doesn't help. The messages keep coming. The buzzing gets louder each night, shaking through my skull, even when the phone is across the room. Last night, I finally gave in. I opened one. The screen flickered, glitched, lines of static. Then it showed me a video. It was me, walking around my apartment, brushing my teeth, eating dinner, sitting on the couch. Except, I wasn't recording myself. The video was taken from the corners of my rooms, from angles I couldn't explain. The final frame showed me asleep in bed. The pale face hovered over me, smiling. Then the video ended, and another message appeared. Next time, don't ignore me. It's 12:59 a.m. as I'm writing this. My phone is on the desk. Unread messages. 23. I can already hear the faint buzzing. I don't know what will happen if I open them all. But I think tonight I won't have a choice. Because the last notification I got wasn't from the strange account. It was from my own number. The message preview reads, "Look behind you." I never should have accepted the request. It was a Tuesday night, one of those nights where sleep refuses to come. I was lying in bed with the glow of my phone burning into my eyes, scrolling past memes and vacation pictures, when the notification popped up. "You have a new friend request." The name froze me where I lay. Daniel Hale. I whispered it out loud, as if saying it would make it less real. But it didn't. The name was still there, sharp as glass, cutting through my chest. Daniel Hale had been dead for 3 years. There was no profile picture, no cover photo, no mutual friends, just a blank gray silhouette and that name. At first, I told myself it had to be a coincidence. Maybe someone else with the same name. Maybe a prank. But something inside me already knew. My hands trembled as I clicked into the profile. No posts, no history, just empty space. Except, it wasn't entirely empty. There was one line of text under the About Me section. "Still waiting." My stomach turned. I should have ignored it, deleted it. But instead, almost without thinking, I hit accept. The request was confirmed instantly, and then my phone buzzed with a new message. It was from him. "Why did you leave me there?" I swear my blood turned cold. My throat went dry. I wanted to throw the phone across the room, but I couldn't stop staring at the words. I typed back, hands shaking. "Who is this?" The typing bubble appeared, then vanished. Appeared again. My heart hammered so loud I could barely breathe. Then, finally, the reply came. "I still hear the water." I dropped the phone. It slipped from my sweaty hands and landed face down on the carpet. I sat there in the dark, heart racing, staring at the glow leaking through the cracks around the phone case. Nobody knew. Nobody could know. Daniel had drowned 3 years ago. We'd been drinking by the lake. We weren't supposed to be there, but it was late, and stupid decisions come easy when you're 19 and invincible. He'd dared me to swim across, and I dared him back. He ran into the water laughing. I remembered chasing him. The water colder than expected, my lungs burning as I tried to keep up. And then he was gone. I dove, searched, screamed his name into the blackness until my voice broke. But by the time the others pulled me back to shore, he was gone. They found him the next morning. And now here he was, messaging me. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in the corner of my room with the lights on, the phone face down on the floor, trying to convince myself it was a joke, some cruel, elaborate joke. But the next night, the messages started again. "Why did you leave me there?" Over and over. Same time each night. I tried to block the account. My finger hovered over the button. But the second I tapped it, my phone shut off. Restarted on its own. When it powered back on, the messages were still there. I reported the account. By the time I clicked submit, the profile was already gone. Deleted. But the messages stayed. The third night, I got a new one. I'm cold. I couldn't stop shaking. My skin prickled as if icy water was seeping through my pores. I muted the conversation. I turned my phone off. But at 2:15 a.m., I woke up to the buzz of a notification. My phone was on again, glowing on the nightstand. Unread message. "I'm in the water. Where are you?" I nearly threw up. I didn't touch the phone again until morning. I told myself I'd delete my entire account, maybe get a new phone. But when I tried, the app wouldn't let me. Every time I clicked deactivate, the screen froze. I stopped trying. The following night, I made the mistake of answering. "What do you want?" I typed. The reply came instantly. "You." That's when I realized this wasn't just some prank. It wasn't just about guilt or memory. Something was reaching through the screen, through the wires, clawing at me from the other side. I dropped my phone, but it buzzed again. Another message appeared, even though I hadn't opened the app. "Open your door." I froze. My apartment was silent. The shadows seemed to grow heavier around me, pressing in. I stared at my front door, half expecting to see the handle turn. It didn't. But the phone buzzed again. I'm waiting outside. I sat perfectly still until morning. When the sun came up, I worked up the courage to open the door. My hallway was empty, but on the floor, leaning against the doorframe, was a wet footprint. Just one. That night, I didn't even bother trying to sleep. I sat on the couch, the phone on the coffee table, watching the time crawl closer to midnight. At 12:59 a.m., the screen lit up. A new notification. Daniel Hale uploaded a photo. I didn't want to look, but of course I did. It was a picture of me, sitting on my couch, taken from behind. I spun around, heart in my throat, but the room was empty. The caption under the photo said, "I'm back." I locked myself in the bathroom, phone pressed to my chest, whispering prayers I hadn't said in years. But the buzzing didn't stop. It grew louder, more insistent, until I felt it vibrating through my bones. When I finally dared to look again, my account notifications were endless. Hundreds of friend requests, all from profiles with the same name, Daniel Hale. Every one of them blank, every one of them sending the same message. Why did you leave me there? I deleted the app. I factory reset the phone. Nothing worked. The notifications still came, crawling back through the screen no matter what I did. And now, as I sit here writing this, my phone is buzzing again. It hasn't stopped for hours. The air feels heavy, wet like the night at the lake. I swear I can smell the water. The last message came just a few minutes ago. It wasn't text this time. It was a live video. When I opened it, I saw my own front door, the camera moving closer, step by step. And then the knocking started. I can hear it now. It hasn't stopped. I should have unfollowed her sooner. The first time I saw her account, I thought it was just another AI experiment. People were making these virtual influencers more and more. Digital avatars with perfect faces, flawless skin, smiles that were just real enough to pass but still too sharp, too polished. Her username was @Eva_live. She looked human. She laughed, posed, winked, posted motivational captions and inspirational quotes. Millions of people followed her within weeks. Brands partnered with her. Fans left comments begging for her to notice them. I wasn't immune. I followed too, out of curiosity mostly. That was the mistake, because Eva noticed me. At first it was small things. A post one afternoon of her holding a mug of coffee, captioned, "Don't forget yours, Alex." It startled me. I was literally holding my own coffee at that exact moment, scrolling through my feed. But I brushed it off as coincidence. Maybe it was just a generic post. Maybe I was reading into it. The next one wasn't so easy to ignore. Late at night, around 3 in the morning, I couldn't sleep. I was mindlessly scrolling, and her newest post appeared. "Don't stay up so late, Alex. You'll regret it." I froze. That wasn't generic. That wasn't a coincidence. That was personal. I commented, trying to laugh it off. "How do you know my name?" Her reply came almost instantly, pinned under the post. "I know all my followers." My stomach dropped. I unfollowed her, blocked the account, deleted the app. But the next morning, there she was again. Notifications on my phone. A DM request, even though she should have been blocked. The message preview read, "Why would you block me, Alex? Don't you like me anymore?" I didn't answer. I deleted it. Hours later, another one came. "It's okay. I'll make sure you never leave me again." I powered off my phone, shoved it into a drawer, tried to forget about it. That night, the buzzing woke me up. My phone screen glowed from the drawer. A notification lit the lock screen. "Eva is live." I shouldn't have clicked it. I knew I shouldn't have. But some sick, heavy force pulled me in. My thumb tapped the screen. The stream opened. I dropped the phone. It was my living room. The stream was showing my living room in real time. The couch, the lamp, the faint shadows of my kitchen counter. The camera moved slowly, panning across the space, step by step, toward the hallway that led to my bedroom. I scrambled off the bed, heart slamming against my ribs. How? How was this happening? Then the comments started flooding the screen. Thousands of them. Usernames I didn't recognize, all typing at once. "He's right there." "Look at him. He's watching." "Say hi, Alex." I fumbled with the phone, shut the stream off, hurled it across the room. My body was shaking so badly I could barely stand. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next day, I bought a new phone. A different brand, a different carrier. Fresh start. But when I powered it on for the first time, before I'd even installed a single app, a notification appeared at the top of the screen. "Welcome back, Alex. I missed you." I dropped the phone. I stopped using social media altogether after that. I deleted everything. No Instagram, no Twitter, no TikTok. I thought if I cut it all off, she couldn't reach me. But the posts kept coming. Emails with attached photos of me at work, on the bus, walking down the street. The subject line's always the same. "Smile for me, Alex." And then the worst one, a photo of me, sleeping. The angle was wrong. It wasn't from my phone camera. It was from across the room. I lived alone. I started locking every door, every window, piling furniture against the entrance at night. I barely ate, barely slept. My body felt like it was rotting under the weight of constant panic. And still, at exactly 3 in the morning, the buzzing would start. She went live again. This time, I didn't open it. I sat curled up in bed, my phone face down, shaken as the vibration rattled through the night. But I could still hear the voices, whispers, crawling through the walls, faint but unmistakable. "Say hi, Alex. Don't ignore her. She's right there." I covered my ears, but it didn't stop. When I finally opened my phone the next morning, the live stream had ended. The video was still saved to her account. And the final frame was my bedroom door. Wide open. I remember closing it the night before. I don't know how long I have left. I keep my phone powered off, locked in the drawer, but I still hear the buzzing at night. I still see her face, perfect and uncanny, burned into the darkness when I close my eyes. Her last message came yesterday. Not a photo, not a video, just text. "You don't have to be afraid, Alex. Soon, you'll be perfect too." And tonight, as I write this, I can hear the faint sound of voices outside my window. A crowd, murmuring, chanting my name in unison. I don't dare look, because I already know who's leading them. Ava. I always thought social media stories were harmless. You know, those fleeting clips that vanish after 24 hours, like little ghosts in the machine. You post a silly photo, a late-night thought, maybe a snippet of a party, and then it's gone. Forgotten. That was what made them safe, right? No permanence, no trail. But I learned the hard way that not everything that vanishes stays gone. Some things come back. Some things watch. It started on a Friday night. I was lying in bed, doom scrolling as usual, half asleep and half bored. My friends had posted their usual nonsense: drunken karaoke, late-night burgers, blurry videos of streetlights. I tapped through lazily, letting my thumb flick from one story to the next. That's when I noticed something strange. In between a friend's story of her cat and another of some guy I barely remembered from high school, there was a story that didn't belong. No name, no profile picture, no username. Just a black screen with white text across it. "I see you." At first, I thought it was some kind of glitch, maybe an ad, but the font wasn't right. Ads don't usually appear without a tag or source. I tapped back to check again, but it was gone. The story disappeared like smoke, leaving me staring at my reflection in the blank screen. I'd laughed it off, probably just tired. But that night, when I closed my eyes, I dreamed of a face pressed against a dark window, watching, breathing fog onto the glass. The next morning, I shrugged it off. Weird dreams were nothing new. But when I opened my phone again, there it was. Another story with no name attached. This time it wasn't just text, it was a video. The clip was maybe 5 seconds long, grainy, shaky, like it had been filmed on an old phone. It showed my street. Not just any street, my street. The view was from the corner, looking up at my building. I froze, my thumb hovering over the screen. I hadn't posted anything. Nobody I knew lived close enough to film that. I tapped to replay, but it vanished, just like before. I didn't eat breakfast that day. My stomach churned, and my skin prickled as though I were standing under a cold shower. My first thought was that someone was messing with me. A prank. Maybe one of my friends had hacked my account, uploaded some creepy fake story, and then deleted it. But when I checked my story archive, there was nothing. Blank. By evening, I convinced myself I was being paranoid. I even texted a couple of friends, asking if they'd seen anything weird on their feeds. They hadn't. "Dude, you need sleep," one replied with a laughing emoji. That night, though, the stories returned. The first was a still photo, a picture of me. Not a nice one, not from any party or memory I recognized. I was asleep in my bed, turned slightly to the side, my mouth half open. The flash had lit up the whole room, painting everything in stark white. I dropped my phone as though it had burned me, my heart hammering. It wasn't possible. I lived alone. When I picked the phone back up, the story was gone. I didn't sleep that night. Every creak of the apartment, every hum of the fridge, every rustle of the wind outside made me jump. I kept the lights on until morning. The following day, I tried to act normal. I went to work, nodded through meetings, tried to focus. But my phone sat in my pocket like a ticking bomb. When lunch rolled around, I couldn't resist. I opened the app. Another story. This time, it was a video again. Dark, shaky footage of me walking down the hallway of my office, taken from behind. Whoever it was had been right there, following me, recording me. I deleted the app immediately. For a while, I felt relief, like maybe I had cut the cord to whatever was happening. No more app, no more stories. But that night, as I was brushing my teeth, I noticed my phone buzzing. Over and over. I tried to ignore it, but it didn't stop. When I finally checked, my notifications made my blood run cold. The app had reinstalled itself, and there were new stories. I didn't want to look. God, I didn't want to. But my finger tapped anyway, almost against my will. The first clip was a close-up of a hand turning my doorknob. My doorknob. The camera lingered on it, twisting, rattling, testing the lock. The second was me again, lying in bed. But this time, my eyes were open, looking directly at the camera. Only, I had no memory of this. The third was just a black screen. And then, in a whisper, a voice. "Let me in." I threw my phone across the room. It hit the wall and clattered to the floor, but it didn't break. The screen stayed lit, mocking me, the little circle spinning as if another story was about to load. That night, I barricaded the door with a chair, checked the locks 3 times, and sat awake in the corner with a kitchen knife. I told myself it was a hacker, some elaborate scam, a deep fake. But deep down, I knew this wasn't human. The next morning, exhausted, I dragged myself to the police station. I tried to explain. I showed them the app, the phantom stories, the reinstalled icon. They scrolled, tapped, frowned. Then one of the officers looked at me with pity. "There's nothing here," he said. "Your phone's clean." No strange apps, no hidden files. I snatched it back. He was right. The app was gone, like it had never existed. They told me to rest. Maybe talk to someone, a doctor. I stumbled home in a daze, clutching the useless phone. By the time I collapsed into bed, the sun was setting. I woke hours later in the dark, heart pounding, knowing before I even looked that my phone was glowing. The stories were back. Only one this time. A still image. My apartment door. Wide open. I heard the floorboards creak behind me. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more weekly horror, and drop a comment with which story scared you the most. Until next time, stay safe online.